Secondly, 11 million jobs that pay more than $75,000 a year that don't require a college degree. My alternative also is this. If you want to get something specialized, of course go to college. The vast majority of kids that go to college are studying the humanities, soft social sciences, psychology, or communications. They're not studying to become engineers or doctors or nurses, all of which I totally understand. And what you're basically saying, your argument, which is true, but it's fraudulent, come here to get a piece of paper because once you get the piece of paper, then you'll get a job.
That's not true. No one is promising that. College promises access to resources. Access to preparation to leadership doesn't mean guarantee.
Again,
it only gives access. You are the one responsible. I think it should be merit-based and people should take accountability for their actions. If they come to college and be lazy, don't take classes, they are gonna achieve nothing.
Do they have
But what happens when that dream collides with Charlie Kirk's wrecking ball of cold, hard reality? In today's breakdown, a confident student steps up armed with ideals, statistics, and belief in the system. But Kirk, he's locked in, ready to dismantle it piece by piece. This isn't just a debate, it's a reckoning. Let's dive in.
Charlie, hey everyone, how are you? So, today, I'll be honest, good to meet you. I'm not a very political person. I'm here for the love of the game only, and I want to see your views, you know. So my topic of discussion is going to be that college is not a scam. And please hear me out till the end before I ask my question, so it kind of makes sense. So I understand everything you say. You said college is a scam, and the issue is because there's a lot of student loans, there's people who drop out of college every year, there's a lot of people who can't find jobs, government's funding it, and why should taxpayers pay for it, right? I understand. It's a concern. It's valid. But at the same time, scam means fraud, and fraud is not what college is, because colleges don't promise guaranteed success. Colleges promise access to resources, which they do deliver. And it's up to the people to actually be accountable and use those resources correctly. But what happens a lot of times is that a lot of people don't use it correctly and fail. I do agree that there needs to be reforms. I think especially the funding of colleges should be reformed, how the government funds may be limited, maybe more structured and with more oversight. But at the end of the day, colleges do provide a lot of value to the society. And also, people who do go to colleges, on average, statistically, earn higher income on average, have half the unemployment rate, and they have more opportunities. So my question to you is, are you denying the data?
Okay, so let's define a scam. What is a scam?
Well, I just defined it. Fraud, right?
Yes. So would you agree in a scam, you force a customer to buy something against their will?
Here's the thing.
Yes or no? I let you talk. Yes or no?
Yes, but here...
Okay, how many of you have to take classes against your will that are waste your time? Look around.
Hold on.
Look around.
But
I let you talk. Look around.
Charlie, I'll be honest.
You haven't looked around yet.
I've taken classes myself.
Every hand is up. Hold on. You just agreed a scam would make people buy something against their will, and every hand went up in the audience saying they have to take classes against their will. You just now agreed using Aristotelian logic that that's a scam.
Hold on. Don't people choose to go to college?
Not always. That's a bit, well, of course they have the agency.
People have the right to go to college.
A lot are pressured by parents. Time out. Of course they have the agency to do that. But there's a cultural expectation to get that piece of paper.
It was a well-structured, respectful argument. College provides access, not guarantees. But then comes the twist. Charlie flips the student's own logic, redefining a scam as being pressured into buying something you don't really want. And just like that, the trap is set. The student steps right into it knowingly. Then Charlie asks for a show of hands from the audience. And the response.
Secondly, to your point about earning more money, do you know half of the kids in this audience, if they get a job, they'll get a job that does not require a college degree?
I've actually fact-checked your data.
It's from the Department of Education.
Okay, yeah, that's true. The reality is that's true only for entry-level roles. Later in the career, that's not the case. Average college graduate earns 80% higher income compared to high school graduate.
If they graduate.
Median...
See, that's a deceiving statistic. I wrote a whole book on this. It's very deceiving. Let me tell you why. Because you're taking the top income earners of doctors and lawyers and engineers, and it brings the average up even more.
Let's look
when
at the
in reality, no, you look at people who study the humanities. You have a big humanities school at UC Riverside. They will, on average, earn maybe $50,000 or $60,000 a year. Secondly,
even liberal arts graduates earn $15,000 to $40,000 more than high school graduates.
Incorrect. That's old data.
That's correct.
How many here?
That's correct.
How many people here would be thrilled earning $70,000 a year right now?
That's higher than the average.
Wrong. According to the Wall Street Journal, hundreds of thousands of high school juniors. High school juniors getting $70,000 a year job offers for not going to college to become plumbers, welders, and electricians. They don't have to go to college. They don't have to get student loan debt. I let you talk, let me talk. So they don't have to go into debt. They don't have to get any degree. I'm sure almost everyone in this audience would be like, boy, I would kill to earn 70 grand a year. And yet how many people in this audience were told a fair hearing, hey, you don't need to go to four-year college. You could earn 70 grand as a high school junior to become a welder.
Hold on, Charlie.
That is not a truth.
The Bureau of Labor Statistics says that on average, the college graduates earn about 30% higher than trade school graduates. And again, I agree, there's alternatives. College is not for everyone. I totally agree with you. People could go to trade school, they could start a business. But everything comes with risk. We got to look at what is college promising the students. College is promising access to resources, and it provides it.
Incorrect. Colleges implicitly and explicitly through their website and their promotional material tell parents that if you come here, you will have a better life. Instead, that is the sales pitch. I guarantee you, if someone
Please show me one website. I've looked all over the place. I haven't seen a single university that guarantees success or happiness.
Hold on a second.
They promise resources.
I just said implicitly and explicitly. Almost every single college has on their website, preparing leaders for a better tomorrow, preparing leaders for an ever-changing world. And if you go through that, they have all these deceiving statistics that if you come to this college for 4 years, allow me to finish talking, okay? Again, for 4 years, yep, someone... We're going to keep going. Don't stare. We tried to warn about that. Get them some water, too. Yeah, and you get a signed hat. Don't faint just for the sign.
Shall now the heat really kicks in? The student fires back with data college grads earn more, right? But Kirk doesn't flinch. He tears into the numbers, revealing how the so-called average is bloated by high. Earners in elite fields, doctors, engineers, lawyers, not exactly your local sociology or communications major. Suddenly, that shiny degree. It's looking a whole lot less golden dot.
Of course, I acknowledge that some college graduates do better. That window is increasingly closing. Now, let me ask you another argument that you might not be prepared for. Almost everybody in this audience is studying something that will be irrelevant because of artificial intelligence. Yeah! Do you think at this school, every single course and every degree is really prepared for the AI revolution that is coming next?
Now let me ask you a question.
You have to answer mine.
What are your alternatives?
Oh, I have plenty. So actually, there's 11 million job openings right now that pay you more than $75,000 a year that don't require a college degree. Right now.
But did you know that 95%, over 95% of U.S. employers still require a college degree for mid to high roles? And about 40% require
That's
just
actually,
to get in.
Again, you didn't even answer my question. You're dodging it. But that number's coming down. Secondly, 11 million jobs that pay more than $75,000 a year that don't require a college degree. My alternative also is this. If you want to get something specialized, of course, go to college. The vast majority of kids that go to college are studying the humanities, soft social sciences, psychology, or communications. They're not studying to become engineers or doctors or nurses, all of which I totally understand. And what you're basically saying, your argument, which is true, but it's fraudulent, come here to get a piece of paper because once you get the piece of paper, then you'll get a job.
That's not true. No one is promising that. College promises access to resources. Access to preparation to leadership doesn't mean guarantee.
Again,
it only gives access. You are the one responsible. I think it should be merit-based, and people should take accountability for their actions. If they come to college and be lazy, don't take classes, they are gonna achieve nothing.
Do they have job preparedness at this school?
Yes, there's a career guidance center. I went to it.
Hold on, wait, they have a whole center about career preparedness, so they're selling career preparedness.
Yes, and you gotta go and access it yourself.
Point. Wait, hold on. So they're selling. Time out. You keep interrupting me, man. Again, do they teach you to interrupt in college this much? It's like you gotta let the other person talk, okay?
Let me be honest. I respect you, but no one interrupts more than you.
At career preparedness centers are implicitly and explicitly telling you you're getting something of value. And again, half the people in this audience, if they get a job, they'll get a job that doesn't require a college degree. They'll be burdened with debt. It's 4 years of wasted time, talent, and treasure. And finally, and most importantly, almost every one of your careers will be rendered obsolete by AI in the next 10 years.
Hold on.
And here comes the knockout punch. Artificial intelligence. Charlie introduces a future-proofing argument that college defenders rarely have a comeback for. If jobs are disappearing and trades are rising, why are we still told that college is the only path to success? The student tries to recover, but the damage is done.
denying the data that $1.2 million higher earnings in median for college graduates?
I've already explained that.
That's not the mean. You were talking about the average. What about the median?
I've already explained it's not degree specific. Also, one other stat. Do you know that 4 out of 10 kids that go to college do not graduate? 4 out of 10 kids that go to college do not graduate.
That's not true.
It is. 59% is the national graduation rate. Okay, again, I can't have a conversation if you deal in different, factual
I'm just trying to say the same degree. If you're talking about dropout rates, I totally agree with you. There's a lot of people dropping out. That's an issue. We should find ways to fix.
Let's break down what just happened. This debate wasn't just about whether college is a scam. It was a full-on collision between two worldviews. On one side, a student defending college as a gateway to opportunity. On the other, Charlie Kirk, ripping into the idea that college is a guaranteed investment. What made this so compelling? How quickly the surface-level logic started to crumble. Let's start with the student's position. He was calm, respectful, and made a familiar argument. College doesn't promise success, just gives you tools and access. It's up to the student to make it work. And on paper, that sounds fair. But Kirk didn't attack the students. Mindset, he went after the system that pushes college as the one-size-fits-all path. His point was simple, but sharp. It's not just about effort. It's about how people are funneled into a system built on debt, inflated expectations, and a shrinking job market. That's the flip. He reframed the entire conversation. Not is college good or bad, but is it being sold honestly? As a cultural default that pressures students into bad bets. From school counselors to media to family pressure. Young people are raised to believe one thing: skip college. And you've already failed. That's not education. That's indoctrination. And here's the kicker. If students are making life-altering decisions based on guilt, fear, or social pressure, did they ever really have a choice? Then came the real turning point, the definition of a scam. The student tried to make a clean distinction. A scam requires deception. College is transparent. But Kirk wasn't buying it. He pointed to a broken model where students are forced to pay for classes they don't want, to complete credits they'll never use, all to serve a bloated, profit-driven system. Then came the moment that flipped the room. Show of hands, who's taken a useless class just to check a box. Hands go up. That's not freedom. That's coercion, masquerading as education. But maybe, just maybe, it's still worth it if the payoff is real. That was the student's fallback. He cited stats: higher earnings, lower unemployment, better life outcomes, textbook defense. But here's the flaw. Kirk drove it home. Averages lie. Those Department of Ed numbers, propped up by doctors, engineers, corporate lawyers. Take them out, and what's left? Liberal arts grads saddled with $100,000 in debt, chasing $50,000 jobs they could have gotten without the degree. That's not ROI. That's a bad trade. And here's where the contradiction goes from bad to brutal. Sure, some college programs offer solid ROI if you're aiming for medicine, law, or engineering. But for the vast majority, it's a money pit. 4 years gone, tens of thousands in debt, and the prize: a job you could have landed with a 6-month certificate or paid apprenticeship. That's not higher education, it's strategic misdirection. Colleges love to sell dreams, prepare for a better future, be a leader of tomorrow. But when reality doesn't deliver, they duck behind the fine print. We never promised anything. It's a slick game of plausible deniability, and students pay the price. But here's the twist that takes this debate to another level. It's not just about cost, it's about relevance. Enter artificial intelligence. Kirk drops the hard truth: the jobs you're training for, many won't even exist in 10 years. Even the so-called safe degrees, computer science, marketing, journalism, AI, is already doing them faster, cheaper, and at scale, and it gets worse. Kirk points to elite grads from places like UC Berkeley valedictorians. Internships, perfect resumes, and they still can't land jobs. So what happens to the average grad? Or the student with a 2.9 GPA and no connections? The student tries to pivot, but colleges have job centers, support staff, networking fairs. But Kirk's ready for it. If a $100,000 degree still needs a career coach, hey, maybe it wasn't worth the money. Mic drop. If a school is touting career services as a major selling point, then it's implicitly promising results. So when those results don't show up, what exactly did the student pay for? A lecture on Play-Doh, a LinkedIn resume template. That's not preparation, that's packaging. Then Kirk drops the silent killer. Dropout rates. Nearly 4 in 10 students don't even make it to graduation. Tens of thousands in loans for nothing but stress and unfinished business. That's debt without a degree. Worst case scenario too common to ignore. And whether the number is 40%, 41%, or even 35%, let's be real. You wouldn't drive a car with a 40% chance of crashing. So why trust a college with a 40% chance of failure? By the end, the message is clear for a lot of people. College isn't just a financial mistake. It's a delayed entry into real life, while one crowd sits through general ed lectures and campus club meetings. Another is out there learning trades, building businesses, gaining real experience, and stacking real cash. Not everyone who skips college ends up flipping burgers. Some end up owning the place. But here's the most important takeaway. This debate isn't about bashing education. It's about exposing the myth that college is the only path. It's about breaking the pressure loop that pushes every kid into a one-size-fits-all system. And it's about demanding honesty from an industry that's profiting off young people's futures. Because education is valuable, but deception, ISN, single quotes. And in today's world, clarity is power. It's about challenging blind allegiance. Yes, college can absolutely be the right move for doctors, engineers, scientists. But for everyone else, it's time to ditch the myth that a degree is some kind of magic key. Treat it like any other investment, case by case, risk versus reward. No more default decisions, because here's the hard truth: the rules have changed. The internet has democratized. Learning trades are making a comeback, and AI is disrupting white collar work faster than schools can keep up. That one-size-fits-all college pitch, T's falling apart. So whether you're a student, a parent, or someone just rethinking the path ahead, ask the hard questions. En, the numbers. Explore the alternatives. And most of all, remember, success doesn't come from a diploma. It comes from clarity, courage, and choosing the road that actually works for you. If you found this breakdown valuable, smash that like button, subscribe for more real talk, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. See you in the next one.